Hello, legends, and welcome to Blunt Force Healing Podcast again, episode 316. And these field updates are becoming quite a norm, and I think that they are more interesting, probably, from those dual kind of homemade updates from time to time. So I hope you like them. Today is Monday. In the company we have Wellness Day, which is basically a free kind of additional day off. So my wife and myself, we decided to go for a short walk or hike in wind, like the wind farm is there. I can't show you because it's already we are already past that and we are returning to the car. But yeah, there is a wind farm here in the hills, and it's called Lehoni Walk or Lehoni Loop, which is basically that area is Lehoni or whatever. I'm butchering it anyway. And it's about 6-7 kilometers loop, depending on how you walk. You can extend it, I think, to 8 kilometers or 9 even if you stretch it. But yeah, it's a decent walk. It's good cardio because straight away initially when you park the car, you go up and you have elevation gain of about, I don't know, maybe 50 meters or something, and you keep climbing, so it boosts, or it kind of jump starts your heart fairly quickly, and the rest is just a breeze. Sometimes it's rainy here, so it's not always the best place to have a walk. But going back to today's update, Elizabeth already went back to the car. She has a key, so I'm not kind of pushed by time. I can slowly return to the car, but I decided to jump into the forest on the way back to check if I can find anything else. As you can see, again, a decent collection of mushrooms. I think I might stop for a while because once I prepare or cook these and dry part of them, I think I'll have enough. So that's how foraging, I think, should be. You collect some for later and some for yourself to eat, and the rest you leave in the forest. There are people that do massive kind of collecting, either to sell them or I don't know, they think that it's worth bragging about. But in my opinion, the more you leave in the forest while still satisfying your needs, the more sustainable foraging is, and it's great. So I wanted to do that episode now because I'm in the place where there's a lot of Amanita rubescens, which is very similar or from the same family as the toadstool, the familiar mushroom with the red mushroom with white spots, which is kind of already mythical because people kind of recognize it as a poisonous or very dangerous mushroom. And yes, in raw state most of the mushrooms are quite dangerous, like if not toxic, at least they can cause digestive problems, etc. So most of them, yeah, in raw state will be dangerous. But what's interesting, the common toadstool or Amanita muscaria, which is that red spotted mushroom, is actually used in many cultures as an edible, quite popular mushroom if you cook it right. There is a method to cook it properly because the toxins that it has as it's raw in high temperatures can be easily dissolved and I would say disbanded. So then it's edible, and there are two types of drying Amanita muscaria. So you can dry it in the sun or dry it in the shadow, and in both cases it produces a very specific substances, which I will write about later on, because they are very interesting, especially for people that would like to try maybe microdosing or psilocybin or very similar treatments for anxieties, depression, and also for other physical conditions. Because as we learned just recently through science, but it was known by many cultures without science centuries ago or even longer, mushrooms are very likely our saviors in the future, not only in cancer research, but many other conditions that we don't know how to treat, and produce more and more of those, chemical compounds and so-called drugs and cures, which are not curing us but maintaining what some people call customers of a big pharma. I know it sounds a little bit, like a conspiracy theory, but there's no conspiracy in that. Let's be honest, pharma is a big business. Whether anyone tries to cure somebody or not, it's a business. They are there to earn money. If there would be no money, they wouldn't produce drugs. That's as simple as that. So guess what? The more customers you have, the more you earn. And how can you have a customer when you cure them? Food for thought. Anyway, I stopped here because I found this Amanita rubescens, which is another from the toadstool family, but this one is actually edible. As a couple of mushrooms from the toadstool family are. But this one is particularly interesting because while it can be mistaken with other species, I'll show you. Oh, there's a very not nice thing. Poop. And welcome back. Yeah, I turned the camera accidentally off while I was showing you Amanita rubescens, and then I didn't realize it, so I kept walking like an idiot and talking about mushrooms. So you probably I saved you a lot of talk about things that you might not be interested in. Anyway, I'm coming back now. I wanted to show you there, and I actually did that, but while not filming, you can see I'm quite high there, so I need to be very careful to not fall down there. Whoops. Yeah. This one is edible, but unfortunately it's quite eaten, and well, a little bit by snails, and then it's very watery. I guess it just disintegrates slowly, so I'm not taking it. Going back to the update, so I wanted to show you the Amanita rubescens because this type of mushroom is edible while cooked, but unfortunately it's very hard to get it not infested by maggots, because they like it too. But I got one of them to try. I always wanted to eat one, and I kind of learned a lot about them from our foraging group. We have a lot of people that are very knowledgeable and ate them and collect them, and some of them actually work for research companies and universities. So I have a backing of quite a lot of people that I can verify a lot of information about certain mushrooms before I risk eating anything. So let me just retract back. Yeah, so let's get out of that mushroom talk and let me just update you what's next. So at the moment I'm returning to the car. My wife is probably already impatient there and will likely kill me if I'm not back soon. But as you can see, I have enough to spend an hour or two to get those mushrooms cut and prepped for eating. Today is not my turn doing dinner, so that's a lovely thing. It's very windy. I hope you can hear me well. Maybe I'll get to the forest soon, so it will be a little bit less windy. Yeah. I think that my updates recently were quite dull. So I'd like to spice it a lot. But I'm thinking about different, solutions. What to do next. I realized recently that just pushing every day a post and video update is very time consuming and not beneficial for you as well. So this is one of the shaggies. These mushrooms tend to be edible in that form that I showed you. You can actually pick them up before they start getting black. They are quite interesting in taste and very nice if you batter them in beaten egg, for example, and crumbs. They are very nice, but you need to make sure that they are not starting to get black, because this type of mushrooms is actually disintegrating into black slime and mass, and this is how they actually, that's their life cycle. So if you get them white and nice early, then you can collect them and eat them. Of course, cook them properly. Are they either on the frying pan or just cut them and cook them with the soup or something? Make sure that you give them enough heat to not eat them raw. Not sure about the US folks. I have a lot of friends that collect mushrooms and know mushrooms in the US, but there are a couple of varieties that are popular at the American continent that are not here, so I'm not the best to talk about them. Oh yeah, my wife is already calling me, so I better speed up. Let me just finish that update at home. We have about 6 minutes now, so I'll stitch it together with the other one and then add a little bit more. Here we are. Hello, back again. Quick wrap up as a third sequence of today's recording. So, as you could see, the first part, which should have been the whole episode, got cut off abruptly by my clumsy hands while I was recording it, and put the phone aside to show you one of the mushrooms. I accidentally stopped the video unknowingly, so I kept talking and recording while it was already off. After a while I realized that I made a mistake, so I recorded a second sequence and segment to explain the same thing that I am explaining now, and then decided to cut it off and finish up here and now. So here we are. As I mentioned before, it's episode 316. It's a video update number 93, I believe. So today was again, despite the fact that it was Monday, which I usually work on today I was off work, which was nice to nice place to be in, especially that I took Friday off, and albeit we were in Dublin on Friday, it still was a day off. Then we had weekend, and Monday today is a wellness day in our company, which means that company gives a couple of times per year an additional day where you are not expected to work. So it's not a holiday, but it's day off in lieu, and for most people that means that you are actually off. For those that can't be off, for example, they react to incidents or are on call people, then obviously they get that day as an extra that they can use towards their holidays. So it's a very nice incentive. From time to time it happens, and that gave me a longer weekend: Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. That means that a lot of things got compressed, and I'll have to work on them tomorrow, and the rest of the week is shorter, which has pros and cons. Pros obviously is just 4 weeks, 4 days of a week, working week. But then cons are, I mean, even though it was a day off, whatever happened on that day or the days before my holiday, I need to revise and basically squeeze in whatever is priority tomorrow. And tomorrow is quite a busy day. Tuesdays are always busy days in general. When we returned from the forest and from the walk, I must say I had plenty of slimy caps, as they are popularly called. That's why this episode and the blog post is titled Slimy Caps. Slimy caps is a kind of group of fungi that, as the name says, they have slimy caps, usually in the wet weather. It's a little bit misleading because plenty of mushrooms become slimy and wet, and you know, that type of kind of moisty and slimy thing when the weather is wet. But slimy caps especially, they create kind of jelly-like lube atop of their caps, and that's why I guess they got that name stuck to them. They are very tasty mushrooms, but they also collect a lot of water in the wet weather, so they are not the best for drying, but I dry them anyway if I have too many. I actually smell them now, so it seems like my wife decided to fry them on a pan with a bit of onion and butter and pepper and salt for kind of, I would say, evening snack. They are very good. Like if you fry them, they can go on a piece of bread or as an addition to any other meal. So they are amazing, very versatile, and also very nutritious and healthy. So they have a lot of protein, vitamin D3, which we are advised to take from dairy and those products. But the one actually in the mushrooms is more bioavailable, and it's easier digested and easier consumed by our body and cells. So the absorption levels are supposed to be much better because it's more available. Other than that, nothing major happened. I spent a lot of time kind of cutting mushrooms and getting them to dry, and sorting a couple of other things. Watched a little bit of funny stuff with Julian, and that was pretty much our day. Nothing fancy. I still need to do a couple of things before I go to bed. So, without further ado, and boring you with details, I'll wrap up now, and let's head into Tuesday and see what else I can do. If you like the to hear a little bit about mushrooms and maybe even think about trying to educate yourself in foraging them, let me know in the comments anywhere, or just message me. If I know that people are actually interested in that, I might create some content around that. So I'm more than happy to help people to get into the world of foraging and mushrooms specifically. Even though you're in you might be in different areas of the world, many species of fungi are available globally, and if not the ones that I say, they're usually a very similar or equivalent species in America or in Asia. They're obviously a very unique species to certain regions, but yeah, we can manage that. But there's a lot of commonality in between the mushrooms across the world that can be used for safe foraging and getting the benefits of what nature provides. That's it for today. Let me stitch this part back to the other two and upload it, because it will be quite a long one. So thank you very much for watching. You can see my wife beater kind of shirt. Sorry about that. I hope you have a great you had a great day, or have a great day, or the rest of the afternoon or evening, and hope to see you tomorrow and talk to you again. See ya.